What's up, fight fans? Welcome back to KO with Kyle. I'm your host, Kyle. Today we'll be recapping UFC 259, Israel Latasanya versus Jan Blockovich, as well as forecasting UFC Fight Night, Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. UFC 259 really delivered on the prelims. It was a good night for Brazilian Amandas and a bad night for a Piotr. The main card had controversy, domination, and at least one dud. John out-wrestled Izzy for the decision win, and my pick of Aljamain Sterling somehow hit. There's a lot to break down, so without any further ado, let's get into it. Starting off the prelims at bantamweight, we had a fight between Mario Batista and Trevin Jones. Batista had the speed advantage early. They were evenly matched round one. Trevin Jones threw an uppercut that he turned over at the last minute to knock down Batista. Trevin Jones won by knockout in the second round. Next at lightweight, we had Uros versus Elon Cruz. Medic hurt Cruz with a hook. Cruz tried for a takedown. Medic put on an extended beating until it was finally got stopped for the TKO win. Uros by KO in round one. Next at women's strawweight, we had Livia Hanata Souza versus Amanda Lemos. Lemos controlled the center of the octagon and walked Souza against the cage. Lemos dropped Souza twice. The second time was with the jab, and the referee stopped the fight for a TKO win, round one by Amanda Lemos. Next at welterweight, we had Sean Brady versus Jake Matthews. Matthews rocked Brady, who went to his wrestling. Brady got another takedown in round two. Brady was going for chokes. He won by arm triangle choke submission. Next at light heavyweight, we had Kennedy Nzechukwu versus Carlos Ulberg. Amazing round one. Ulberg was landing front kicks, almost got the finish, but then Ulberg was fatigued. Nzechukwu was landing lefts. Round two, a right hook from Ulberg. A right hook dropped Ulberg, and Nzechukwu won by TKO. Flyweight Tim Elliott versus Jordan Exponoza was next. Elliott gets on top after Espinoza slipped on a missed kick. Elliott was on top for most of round one. Elliott continued to get takedowns round two and three and had ground control all three rounds. Tim Elliott won by unanimous decision. Next at flyweight, we had Rogerio Bontorin versus Kai Kara France. Bontorin dominated 4.5 minutes of round one, and then the fight got back up. Kai Kara France dropped Bontorin with 3 right hands for the TKO win. Next at flyweight, we had Joseph Benavidez versus Askarov. Askarov landed a body lock takedowns in round 1 and 2. Askarov smothered him all around 2. Askarov was landing front kicks to the body. Benavidez had a better round 3 because there was no wrestling from Askarov. The judges scored a unanimous decision win for Askarov. Next at bantamweight, we had Song Yadong versus Kyler Phillips. It was back and forth in the first round. Phillips landed a head kick, but Yadong was unfazed. Yadong was always moving forward. It was a close round 2, but Phillips shot for a takedown, but Yadong quickly got back up to his feet. Yadong had a strong round 3. Kyler Phillips won by unanimous decision. Next at bantamweight, we had Dominic Cruz versus Casey Kenny. They were even on strikes round 1. Kenny was throwing inside leg kicks. Dominic Cruz remained elusive, closing the distance to land strikes. Super close, significant strikes total, but Dominic Cruz got a takedown in round 3. Dominic Cruz won by split decision. Starting off the main card, we had the light heavyweights Thiago Santos versus Alexander Rakitch. Rakitch was kicking the body and the head round 1. Slow round 2. Kind of a boring fight overall. Rakitch won by unanimous decision. Next was Peter Yan versus Aljamain Sterling for the Bantamweight Championship. Sterling came out strong early, pressuring Yan and securing a takedown in round 1. Yan later rocked Sterling. Sterling gassed round 3, maybe even in round 2. Yan was getting trip takedowns and just shoving Sterling down repeatedly. In round 4, Petr Yan kneed Aljamain Sterling in the head while he was a downed opponent, and Aljamain couldn't continue the fight. Petr Yan lost his belt to Aljamain Sterling due to an illegal knee. Next was our co-main event, Amanda Nunes versus Megan Anderson at women's featherweight. Nunes rocked Anderson with her first strikes, which landed on the temple. Nunes got a combination of a TKO, a triangle choke, and an armbar. Amanda Nunes won by submission in the first round. Finally, in our main event, we had Jan Blockovich versus Israel Latasanya. Izzy was staying on the outside, throwing kicks to the legs and head. Jan was landing as well. Close rounds 2 and 3. Jan got a takedown in round 4 and over 3 minutes of ground control. Jan got another takedown in round 5, which some judges scored a 10-8 round. Jan Blockovich won by unanimous decision. In Kyle's fight picks, I had all the main card picks right except for Israel Latasanya. 4 out of 5, not bad. Next, let's forecast UFC Fight Night, Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Starting off the main card at middleweight, we have Eric Anders versus Darren Stewart. Anders was once undefeated, 10-0, and since he is 5-5 in the UFC. Anders is a former LFA middleweight champ with 2 Performance of the Night bonuses and 1 Fight of the Night. Stewart had lost 2 close decisions to Edmund Shabazian and Kevin Holland. Stewart has 3 wins in his last 5 fights. Anders has 2 wins in his last 5 fights. I'm picking the slight favorite, Darren Stewart. Next at flyweight, Manel Kape versus Mateus Nicolau. Kape lost his UFC debut in a decision against Alexandra Pantoja. Nicolau had 3 UFC wins before he was cut from the UFC following a head kick KO loss to Dustin Ortiz. I could see this ending by Kape TKO or by Nicolau submission. I'm picking the slight underdog, Mateus Nicolau. Next at bantamweight, we have Jonathan Martinez versus Davey Grant. Martinez is known for his KO power and his KOs with knees. Grant was on season 18 of The Ultimate Fighter where he lost to Chris Holdsworth in the finals. Martinez has 4 wins in his last 5 fights. Grant has 3 wins in his last 5 fights. The Vegas odds have Martinez as the heavy favorite. I think it'll be pretty close, but I'm picking Jonathan Martinez. Next at featherweight, we have Dan Ige versus Gavin Tucker. Ige was on a 6-fight win streak before losing a decision to Calvin Kattar. I've been impressed with Tucker lately, outworking Billy Quarantillo and submitting Justin James and Song Woo Choi. Both fighters have 4 wins in their last 5 fights. I'm picking the slight underdog, Gavin Tucker. In our co-main event at light heavyweight, we have Misha Cirkunov versus Ryan Spann. Cirkunov has won many UFC fights by submission, most recently submitting Jimmy Crute. Cirkunov got knocked out by Ozdemir, Teixeira, and Johnny Walker. Cirkunov has 2 wins in his last 5 fights. Spann has 4 wins in his last 5 fights. Spann is a former LFA light heavyweight champ. Spann has only been submitted once in his career. I'm picking the slight underdog, Ryan Spann. And our main event is welterweight, Leon Edwards versus Belal Muhammad. Edwards went on an 8-fight win streak after losing a decision to Kamaru Usman. Edwards is tied for the second fastest knockout in welterweight history. A lot of Muhammad's fights go the distance. Edwards has 5 wins in his last 5 fights. Muhammad has 4 wins in his last 5 fights. It's likely that the over will hit, but I think Edwards will outclass him with the striking. I'm picking the favorite, Leon Edwards. Kyle's fight picks. In Kyle's fight picks, I have Darren Stewart, Mateus Nicolau, Jonathan Martinez, Gavin Tucker, Ryan Spann, and Leon Edwards. Next episode will be a recap of March 13th UFC Fight Night, Edwards versus Muhammad, and a forecast of the March 20th UFC Fight Night, Brunson versus Holland. So please subscribe so that you never miss an episode of our timely content, and until next time, fight fans, peace.